The interesting thing too is the Democratic organisation were quite happy to throw Biden out the window 2 or 3 weeks ago. After Buttigieg and Bernie did very well early on, he was dead for all money.
He's their last choice.
Yeah, and that's what makes me wonder. I don't know if the Democratic organisation know what they want, do they?
I think they're anti-Sanders.
Yeah,
I think that's quite clear. And the other thing, I think it's a good. It looks like it's going to be a good Super Tuesday for Biden, much better than any of us could have imagined 2 weeks ago when he was on the floor.
2 days ago.
Yeah, he only just won his first primary in 3 stabs at the presidency, going back 3 decades. And I think many people thought his strength was in the South. And he, as Damien says, he clearly has got a very good connection with certainly the over 50s in the African American community.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. He's a glad hander. He's a skilled politician, a charming politician who's got the ability to appeal to quite a wide range of audiences. One thing that I think is interesting there's 2 things I'd quickly say. Firstly, I don't think Sanders will be surprised by this. He was asked, he was kind of cautioning his followers the other day after the South Carolina result. He said, look, we're going to lose some. You've got to be realistic about this. We're not going to win them all. He said, the question is, we've got to win enough to keep going. So I think from Sanders' point of view, if he can win California, which is 415 delegates, if he can get his nose in front in Texas, and he's going to win possibly in Colorado, he's won in Vermont, he's won in both Colorado and Vermont. He's not going to win as many as Biden tonight, but he may win some big ones, which enable him to keep going. Now, that's my second point, is the longer this goes on, Sanders is a good political infighter. I'll give you an example of this. Last weekend, many of you may have noticed there was a story that was covered in CNN by Anderson Cooper about the fact that Sanders' campaign was being tacitly supported by the Russians.
Yeah.
And he was called into the studio, and he revealed that he had been briefed by US intelligence a month before, and he'd also been asked to keep it confidential, as you do if you see US intelligence, and he did, but the media got hold of the story, and therefore he felt free to comment on it.
Yep.
What was extraordinary, Anderson Cooper expected, I thought he treated Mr. Sanders very fairly, but clearly what many people expected was that he'd be on the defensive, but he quickly pivoted from being on the defense to the offense within 30 seconds. He said, if Mr. Putin's supporting me, that's bad news for him because he's an autocratic thug. And if I become president, there'll be no more foreign interference in American affairs. Now, what's the significance there? First of all, he made Trump look like a Putin lackey who is not capable of protecting the American national interest. Secondly, he was in a way, I think, serving notice to his Democratic rivals that he can't be easily pigeonholed as anything less than patriotic. So I think the longer this goes on, those sort of skills will come into play. And Mr. Biden does have a track record of making gaffes. So I think he's going to have a good night. And I think it's partly because of the Klobuchar and also Buttigieg pulling out, and also that fabulous endorsement he got from Beto O'Rourke in Texas. These are all important developments, and he's benefiting from them. But this is a long race.